Chag Sameach. So tonight we are honoring the class of 5784. And this is the moment, by the way, that I mentioned where you look as if you're paying attention. You can put your sheets down. All right, good. So, and we mention and we honor their great spirit because there is a certain awe with which we approach the sacred hour. It's a moment different from other day-to-day classes. Life that kind of lifts us up above the fray of the ordinary. It is tonight a precious moment. It is in the sanctuary that our spirits are elevated and we can speak words and write words that you'll read in a few moments that are more profoundly true than we might have first imagined. So the Jewish understanding of revelation, which we are celebrating tonight, is radically different from all other faiths. Sinai was not a singular, solitary, individual kind of experience. Sinai was a collective community event. In Christianity, in Islam, Buddhism, revelation is associated with one individual seeking discipleship. Judaism takes a different claim. At Sinai, we became transformed from a people of Jews into a Jewish people. And we, this class, has connected this past year to our people, to our history, to our ancestors, to the Israelites who wandered in the wilderness to Sinai. As Yogi Berra once said, if you don't know where you are going, you might end up somewhere else. What the Israelites knew was that they were going to create a legacy of action, and at Sinai, they said, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and then we'll understand. So a little pop quiz, where do we find that in the Torah? I never taught it to you. So I was just seeing if you were listening. Exodus chapter 24, verse 7. Interesting. 24/7. Now you can remember that we accept the obligation of the mitzvot at Sinai 24/7 in the book of Exodus. So as you think about your Jewish legacy, one way you can think about it is in helping people and all the effort that it takes to actually save life. So just one example that I recently read. Minnesota has issued 46 Amber Alerts since 2002. The entire state is notified on our phones about a single missing child. All of us in the state carrying about one child. And since 2002, all but one of those children have been saved. That is the kind of effort that Sinai demands, to think about all the efforts for one life. So over the year, we have connected, though, not only to our ancestors, but to our Jewish people worldwide and to our obligations for our own people, including Israelis who faced the cataclysmic nightmare of October 7th. We have all felt what it means to be connected to our people through this trauma. There are countless stories, and the nightmare continues for the families of the remaining 116 hostages on today, 250 of the war. The result of the war brought on by Hamas, we know and grieve, has also led to thousands of Palestinians' deaths. Our hearts break for all who suffer. And this is not the moment that I'm offering any analysis of the whys or what should happen. I just want to frame the reality that is just awful. Any way you look at it, and it affects each of us. The Hadar Institute, which we are going to be using the materials later for our Tikkun Leil Shavuot, has written what it means to be studying Torah in this time of war. It suggests that there are, for the ancient Israelites, two arcs that they were carrying in the wilderness, one for the Torah and the other for the Shivrei Luchot, the broken shards of the first tablets that were destroyed when Moses broke the tablets in response to the golden calf. And it's the second Aron, the second ark, the one carrying the broken shards of Torah, that has a particular function. It would accompany the children of Israel whenever they went to war. On every level, war is a shattering experience. And in our class, this has been a shattering year. We have lost greatly and grievously a beloved grandparent for one classmate, a father endeared by the entire community for one student, and for another student, illness and injury that cost months of recovery. For all of us, an entire year marked by supporting these classmates, and then in our lives facing increased anti-Semitism, and of learning how to talk and feel about the Israel-Hamas war. This night of Shavuot is called Tikkun Leil Shavuot. It is facing the darkness of this night with a tikkun, a repair. It is the repair of Torah, the study that lifts us. It is the repair of community. It is the repair of witnessing a truly remarkable group of teens who have been my light this year. Whenever I felt down, they picked me up and probably didn't know how much they meant to me each Wednesday. Perhaps this night can constitute for all of us a spiritual repair, for all that is broken in our hearts, a repair of Torah, of our people, of our world. But confirmants, I don't want you to only think about the challenges of this year. I want you to feel so grateful for being part of a remarkable Jewish people. And I want to share just one quote. Many have heard this before, by Mark Twain, about the Jewish people. He said in the 19th century, "Their contributions to the world's list of great names in literature, science, art, music, finance, medicine, abstruse learning are also very out of proportion to the weakness of their numbers. They have made a marvelous fight in this world in all ages, and they've done it with their hands tied behind them. The Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Persians rose, filled the planet with sound and splendor, then faded to dream stuff and passed away. The Greeks, the Romans, they followed and made a vast noise, and they were gone. And other peoples have sprung up and held their torch high for a time, but it burned out, and they sit in twilight now, and they have vanished. The Jew saw them all, survived them all, and is now what they always were, exhibiting no decadence, no infirmities of age, no weakening of parts, no slowing of energies, no dulling of their alert but aggressive minds. All things pass, all things are mortal, but the Jews, what is the secret of their immortality?" I want to share that part of my own belief in God is puzzling this improbable question. How have we continued to survive and even thrive? Put in one way, think about the fact that 125 years ago, only a few people spoke Hebrew, and today, over 10 million do. And Hebrew was on the lips of America's pioneers. Graduating classes of Harvard in the 1600s had to give their graduation speech in Latin, English, and Hebrew. Americans saw themselves as the new Israelites. When Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, he was channeling not only the philosophers Locke, Montesquieu, and Rousseau, but also the biblical values about the dignity of every person. Interestingly, fast forward to 1948. 3 weeks before Israel declared its independence, Mordechai Beham, a well-known attorney, was assigned to write the Declaration. Mind you, he only had 3 weeks. So he's now sitting at a Passover Seder, saying that he doesn't know how to do it. And his family says, go across the street to talk to Harry David Dovich. He goes to his house, goes to his library, and Harry David Dovich pulls a book out from the large library. It's Jefferson's book about America's Declaration of Independence. And they started translating it into Hebrew. You see how this is all connected. 3 weeks later, with Ben-Gurion's late-night edits, it became Israel's declaration. We need to know our stories and our history and help write the Jewish story. So finally, I want to end by saying, last Rosh Hashanah, I suggested that we need to restate our story around 3 C's: our covenant, civilization, and conversation. And here it goes. We are part of an epic, ancient new story of being freed from slavery in Egypt and standing at Sinai bound by a covenant that continues to be our moral compass. Our civilization emerged from the Fertile Crescent of the ancient Near East and today flourishes primarily in Israel and America. We have faced persecution, but we endure, engaged in an ongoing conversation, l'dor v'dor. We are part of a covenant with God, a civilization over time and space, and a conversation that you, the confirmation class of 5784, will continue. But it will only happen if you're in. You have to engage. It doesn't happen by osmosis. It doesn't happen when you don't know your history and your traditions. I have to trust that your years here at Mount Zion have given you enough of the reason for nurturing your spirits and the mandate to care for others. It isn't always easy being Jewish, but it is an honor, and it can be a joy. Mazel tov, yeshar koach to each one of you.